Welcome to She Loves the Grid, where we discuss all things F1. Whether it's happening on the track, in the paddock, or beyond the grid, we'll talk about it all. And welcome back to She Loves the Grid. I am Claire.
I'm Diane.
And here we are. Singapore is done. It's befitting that it's a night race because we're recording it now on my nighttime. So anyway.
Yes. And I feel like it should be nighttime here. I'm exhausted. So yes.
How has your week been?
Good. Busy. I don't know. I don't even know what I did.
Working. That's all you did. That's all. That's what I know.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Pretty much it. What about you?
Well, last Thursday, because we're recording on Sunday, was my 30th anniversary. So had a little party on that. And then tomorrow, because we're recording again on Sunday, is the B-Day. So just kind of chilling and having fun, rebuilding my movie server and just, being a nerd.
I love that, though.
Enjoying the cooler, nice weather here in Berlin.
That's awesome. I can't believe it's your birthday already. Like, crazy.
Where the year has gone.
I know. It's basically the end of September. I'm already like, it's October. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yay, happy early birthday.
Thank you. All right. Well, let's get going on this week's race today. Wow. It was, anything you want to talk about before the race?
There's where to begin. I feel like there's always something. So let's talk about some controversies. I guess where to start there. Max, lots of chatter about his. Did we mention that last week that he got a penalty or community service? I think we did.
No, I think it happened right after. I can't remember now. I thought it happened right after.
Anyways, so I think it just happened the other day. So on Thursday's press conference, he opted. Because he got a penalty for, whatever, not a penalty on track, but he was fined. He has to, reprimand. There we go. Thank you. And he has to do community service for using the F word in the presser. And so after qualifying on Saturday, he was in the press room where they have the top three, and he didn't really want to answer any questions. He gave very short answers, or when they specifically asked him about the car and where he thought it was kind of going wrong, he was like, ask me that outside of here, and put the microphone down. And Lando's over there laughing, into his water bottle. Oh, Lando is giggling. I mean, there should be a montage of all the giggling that he has done, throughout. Him and Daniel had gotten into it. Giggle fits in the past, but anyways, so that's become kind of a big thing because people are like, should Max act that way? Of course, you've got the people saying he's immature, he's a baby, he needs to act professional, and then other people that are like, no, if they're going to start fining them for real over using an F word in a press conference, like, okay, come on.
Yeah, and here's the deal. I haven't been around that long, but at the same time, I just wonder, is there some kind of influence with, Liberty Media working to try to make it so much more popular, make more money? There's been a lot of that they've brought to it. But with that, they're bringing media, they're bringing in cameras, they're bringing stuff into areas and more people that weren't there before.
Right.
So we're invading the driver's space. We're invading the sport, the camaraderie, the freedom that they had to just let their emotions and their thoughts be known. And that was one thing I found refreshing when I first started watching, was like, they're honest and they're very professional, but if they drop an F-bomb or whatever it is, because it's they're in the moment, it's the passion, it's what's going on,
and the adrenaline and everything else. And I think you make a really good point is, yes, they've always had press conferences and whatnot, but we're hearing more radios. We have the cool down room, which is one of my favorite parts of race day. There's boom mics overhead, quite often when they're gathering for the driver's parade or different things. And so they have to almost sense they can't just be silly and goofy or, be talking to either their team or or other drivers about what they don't like. And I think it's getting, I think there was that with Max, which I support Max. Like, here's my thing, because I posted something about that, and on Facebook we have like hundreds and hundreds of comments
with 500 already.
Yeah, with people going both ways on it. But my feeling is with Max, and we know I'm not a Max fan. What I respect about him is that he's going to tell his truth, and he's going to say it like he sees it. And honestly, that is something I think is very important. It's something I look for in friends. I don't want people flipping me up with nonsense that they don't believe. And so I think it makes sense for Max to be like, ask me that outside the room, because I can't tell you what I really honestly think in here. And Max just does not strike me as the type of person that's going to give you a bullshit answer. Like,
no.
So ask me outside the room. And outside the room, there were a lot of journalists. They followed him. He answered questions, all of that stuff. But I agree with him. If I can't tell you how I truly feel in here, then I'm not going to say anything. Because why am I going to do that? We also know with George, we mentioned last week, that George gave a very detailed answer about they need to have a conversation about the tires. He said, I don't even think the tire people know what to expect with the tires. Well, this week he was asked again, and you could tell he had been talked to. Don't talk about it. Don't go into detail. Do not talk about it. And I think then we get to a point where it's like, okay, as fans, like, we're not going to know how people really feel. We're not going to know that the tires are, even the teams aren't sure what the tires are doing. Like, how does that progress the sport? How do you draw more people into the sport if you have no transparency?
Yep. Absolutely. It's been interesting. And like I said, there was that one too. I don't know if it's related, but I told you when I don't know if you heard the one with Carlos going, well, I want to change what I said, make sure I update what I said from yesterday.
Yeah.
That caught me off. I don't even know what he said, but it just seemed weird that he made the point and I had to take responsibility. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I feel like for whatever reason, F1 is really, Liberty Media, whatever, is locking down. Maybe even the FIA, all are involved. But we know a while back they stopped allowing the teams to do their own. Some of them had podcasts, some had YouTube video channels. They nixed all of that. Now it's like they're very much censoring what they can and cannot share. They're fining them. I think it's not a good move. It's not a good look. It's like, what are you trying to hide? And it seems shady. I don't like it at all. So I'm totally on Max's. I'm on board with Max. That's just me. What else? I know with this, after the race, we were talking about stuff. Daniel, that's the other huge thing. Like, let's just talk about Daniel, because I did not, after the race, I've had a very busy day and went to watch football and all kinds of stuff. And it's like, I didn't get to see a lot of the post-race press conferences or things that were happening. I had no idea that team principal of VCARB, Laurent, said something to the effect of, if it's Daniel's last race, we wanted him to have the fastest lap. We wanted him to savor that moment and have fastest lap. Then I'm scrolling like minutes before we get on here, and F1 has posted a video of Daniel walking into the hospitality tent at VCARB, and everybody's out front, in two lines, clapping for him. I'm like, now, first I was like, no, I think he's good. He's good through the end of this year, and it's probably for next year. Now I'm like, I'm not so sure, because if Laurent, team principal, saying, oh, we wanted him to have that in case it's his last, and then they're doing that kind of a send-off.
Well, and then he was teary. He was holding back. Like they asked him, why did it take him so long to get out of the car? He normally pops out so much quicker. And he's just like, was it hot? Was it just because it's hot or whatnot? Or is it because of the things that are going on and the uncertainty of your seat next year? And he's just like, well, yeah, I'm definitely hot and exhausted, but just enjoy the seat and reflecting. And it was just like, and then he was choking up. It was all he could do. And they asked him another question. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to cry. Yeah. And then just as he was about to, I think Will Buxton's like, yeah, okay, well, you have a good one, and they'll send him on his way. And he could see the shock in him. Like, he's just like, oh.
It was You sent that to me because that was another one I missed. And I was like, this is the saddest thing I think I've ever seen. And I was thinking, on top of that, last year he didn't, or what was it, 2 years ago? I don't know, whatever, he didn't have a seat. Like, we knew he wasn't going to have a seat. And I feel like this is 10 times worse than that. Like, this is the saddest thing ever. What if he doesn't come back? I was pretty sure the beginning of the week, he's probably out. And then I was like, no, they'll probably let him stay. He'll stay for the end of this year. And now I'm back to, we're going to be waking up to an announcement tomorrow morning that
well, and then Christian Horner's like, well, there's 3 weeks. We've got to look at the data. We've got, we know what Daniels can do. And I was just like, with him anyway. But and it was so confusing was the video that some fans shared on a fan site I saw of during the paddock this weekend, Daniel with Christian and Laurent. And it was very, very like, oh yeah. And he just like, I was like, that seemed like it was, and people aren't watching, I'm kind of mimicking, emoting what he was doing. He seemed very animated and happy and shook hands like there was something good happening. It's like, oh, and then when they did the fastest lap, to me, that was, oh, we're helping our other team get rid of the point because Danny's got a seat and he's just, being a team player. Then that interview, I have no idea what to think.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then I think I had said to you, like, okay, there's actually 2 seats. I mean, we know Perez signed a contract, but I feel like he's got those clauses, right? So could it also be Perez? Like, why? There's got to be some sort of rumor going around in the paddock that it's Daniel and not Sergio. Because why could it not be Sergio? Why would it not be, okay, we're going to keep Daniel here for this year, and then we're going to bump Sergio and move Daniel to Red Bull because we know what he can do, and we'll bring Liam in. So somebody's got to know something because there has been no mention this week, as far as I know, about Sergio, not in the way there has been for Daniel. So, but when he put on those boots at 60 laps, lap 60, the new tires, I literally wrote down Ricciardo putting on new boots, lap 60, trying for fastest lap, question mark, question mark, question mark, take it away from Lando, question mark. And sure enough, that's what happened. And then over the radio, Christian said to Max, your old pal Danny got fastest lap. And Max was like, thank you, Danny. And now, as of, I don't know, this afternoon, people are saying that Daniel getting that point, taking it away from Lando, probably saved Max. But here's the thing. They're saying even if Max comes in second to Lando for the next, how many races do we have? Five races?
Yeah.
Max still wins. At every sprint, every race, Max still wins because of that point. Now, that's a big if. Max has not finished second for, I think he's not been on the podium. He's here and there. And we don't know what the next few races are going to bring. But mathematically, that point, if it finishes 1-2 and it's always Lando and Max, Max will still win. So Daniel really could have done a solid. But I know you have a hot take on the V-Carb and Red Bull working together.
Yeah, then that's what I thought it was. And I didn't think about it then because I didn't see all the stuff about, them saying, Laurent saying they wanted just in case it's his last race. I didn't think of that angle, but the sequence of events, it's iffy. What can he do to prove himself? There's the happy handshake. There's the, we're going to go in and take this away. Not Yuki, but him. Like, why him? But he's got to prove himself. I'm like, oh, he's totally doing it. They thank him on the radio. I'm like, oh, he's totally there. And then when the whole change with the near crying and the clapping at the end and, all of that, now I'm thinking, oh, maybe that's not it. Or maybe it is. But I still think it's a little weird to have one team helping another team out so much because that got him nothing. Him getting fastest lap gets him nothing. You don't get the point unless you're in the top 10.
Right.
So it really didn't matter too much that he got the fastest lap other than to say he got the fastest lap. And
Lando didn't. Didn't get it. So,
and what did it do? Max. It's like, thank you, Daniel. I mean, it's just from Max. And it's like that just, I don't think it's right to have one F1 team helping the other F1 team when they're supposed to be competitors. Because otherwise, you basically have a 4 drivers advantage.
Yeah. I mean, because it was an absolute advantage today that they used a team that wasn't their own to save Max. Absolutely. I think that's not okay. And I bet you
no purpose. There was no purpose for it other than maybe if it's truly his last race, so he could say he got fastest lap, but it counts for nothing. There's no point, I don't know if they get it for fastest lap, but without the top 10. I know you don't get the point.
Right. But I think it was more about Max because I think with Christian getting on the radio and saying that, I think it was about Max. I maybe a little bit about, it could be his last race, but that was all strategy. And again, like you said, you're supposed to be individual teams. They can't even use the same data. They can't use the same car setup. They should not be allowed to do this either. That I just think that was a little crazy. But I do wonder now that we say that, because I did notice it was after lap 37, Yuki was behind Daniel and he was getting mad because Yuki was on softs. He basically is trying to get past Daniel and he was like, what is going on? Why is he not moving? And their response back to him was, we're discussing it. And that's when I looked over and I saw, well, Yuki's on softs and Daniel was on hards or mediums. I don't know. And so, I mean, you could see all the marbles on the track. He's going to wear down his tires behind his teammate so I didn't know there what was happening. Is this, finally, like they did swap, but Yuki was on the radio that we heard at least twice. Yeah. And they finally swapped it and then Yuki was able to take off. But it's like, what were you doing there? Like, are we just trying to make sure Daniel were you trying to get him ahead of Yuki and he finishes ahead of Yuki? Like, or you want to see something, but then you're screwing up Yuki's race. Like, pull it together.
It was the weirdest thing for sure.
No weird. So do we think
to the liveries and stuff, like you talked about, we didn't even know until I saw it somewhere. There wasn't a lot of pomp and circumstance about Danny's new helmet, right? When we talked about new liveries and helmets that different teams had. Yeah. It was just really interesting that I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. It's hinky.
I don't either. And I've also seen this afternoon that like if Daniel leaves, basically he takes half the sponsors will leave. I don't know who he's aligned to that sponsor. I'm sure there's contracts. Maybe they have stuff written into contracts. But yeah, it could be interesting. Do we think he will be back?
Live updates in the middle of our recording. This is ominous. Formula One just tweeted 6 minutes ago a picture of Danny hugging someone and a couple other pictures of Danny, and it just says farewell Singapore.
What? See, and F1 is in on this too because they're the ones that posted the V-carb lineup welcoming him back into the hospitality tent afterwards. Why are we? What? Just tell us if he's going to be gone.
What's going on? What
something.
is going on?
Would you want to be Liam Lawson walking into this in a month? Like, you better just announce it now so people will settle down by the end of October because, I mean, Liam Lawson is a nice person and he did well last year when he had to step in for Daniel, but I wouldn't want to be him. Daniel, he is a beloved person in the sport, whether you like him or don't, but wow. Now I'm back on the train of we're going to have an announcement tomorrow morning or Tuesday.
That's just a weird one. Goodbye, Singapore. I mean, no, it's Singapore, but
yeah, but there's subliminal messaging there.
There's something there.
I just couldn't imagine like not knowing at all. Like if Daniel's tearing up and he's like, well, I wanted to savor the moment. And your team principal's like, well, we wanted him to go out with the fastest lap. And okay, but is he not? That would be awful.
It'll be interesting if this gets announced before our podcast goes up on Tuesday. So we'll see. We're speaking in the past. Okay. One silly thing I forgot to mention that I wanted to talk about that I just thought was funny was the people. I think if one did it, or maybe it was one of the the fan sites, but doing the lap times for the lizards on the track. That was
okay. Those lizards do not run like the lizards in my yard, and I know those are bigger than these lizards, but they run like this, and it's like, what is happening? I've never seen a lizard run like that before.
That's hysterical. That had to be that. So that was just some fun stuff with the lizard got on the track. And then old Hunter, they're like, there might be a lizard. He goes, it's in the middle of the track. He's literally like
yeah. Oh, those lizards have a death wish for real. Yeah, that was funny. You know who, like, okay, just switching back to the teams. Okay, Ferrari. Listen, I thought Charles was going to be gunning for the top. Saturday, this is the life for a Ferrari fan. Friday, I'm on cloud 9, like, ooh, look at Charles go. And then Saturday, crap. Carlos on an outlap puts his car into the barrier, so he's 10th. And then Charles gets his lap time deleted. And they both came back today. They both did all right, but like that should not have. They should have been so much better this weekend. It was sad. Very sad, to say the least. And Mercedes, Lewis still not happy with tires. He was not happy with, I think, the early pit stop. George with the like, I need a little encouragement.
I know. Like, everything looks good.
Yeah. Poor George. I was like, oh man, like,
you can do it, buddy.
I know. I felt like same George, same. Like sometimes you just have to ask for it. Like they could have pumped him up a little bit more. Maybe they did and we didn't hear all of it. But like seriously. Okay, but let's talk about Williams because I feel like during practice and everything, they looked really good and they narrowly missed Q3, both of them, both Alex and
so close.
Today. Oh my gosh. First, Alex, power unit issue, overheating. I don't even know what happened there. I have not checked to see if James Vowles has done one of his little follow-ups that I love so much, but he was out. So no double points. And Colapinto. Holy moly.
He was so good.
He's amazing. So starts with Monza, right? Pretty easy track. There's not a lot of turns, just very quick. I'm sure he's raced there before with F2. Then where were we last week? Baku, trickier, definitely, narrow, street circuit. Then you come here. He's never raced at Singapore, ever. Yeah. Out there, still trying to figure out these darn tires. And he does amazing.
I think he did so good.
He did so good. That dive at the beginning, I know Alex was not happy about it, and I love Alex, but you cannot fault him.
No.
You cannot fault Colapinto for doing that. Like, incredible. I'm just
I think he did so good. And I love the fighting he did, the defense he did with Checo. Like, that was really good.
No, it was so good. And Checo even said, like, I think his engineer came on and said, like, okay, we can see that he's struggling. Like, go get him. And Checo's like, he's really good. It's hard to get past him. That's a huge, like, this is your third F1 race, and you have Checo saying that about you. The Minister of Defense himself is like, saying I can't get past him. That's pretty impressive. Like, that is really good.
Yeah, and James, I did see a little bit of James's thing. I didn't watch all of it, but it was something along the lines of, it was, there's some kind of thing was overheating in the power unit. They're still looking into it, and that they did lose that one position for Franco, but they were really impressed with his driving kind of thing.
Yeah, he really was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'm so proud of him. And I think I mentioned this to you earlier, but it's like, so he came up. Who else? Well, we've had Ollie step in. We've had Franco step in. Liam Lawson last year. It's so, like, why can't we not have another team? We have all of these great drivers on the grid now that we would love to have stay around. All these F2 drivers that are coming in and acting like they've been there, even if they've never raced, Why can we not have another team and 2 more seats for drivers? Please?
I know. 2 more. Just 2 more.
2 more. I feel so bad for these guys that they know they can do it if they could just get the shot. And they just have not, there's only 20 seats, and it's going to be very rare for you to be asked to step into a race, at the last minute, a la Ollie. But I just feel so bad. The more I start thinking about it and what has happened this year with some of those drivers, darn it, I feel so bad for the F2 guys. Like, are you ever going to get your chance? And then do you miss the window?
Yeah.
A lot of these drivers right now on the grid have multi-year contracts. And yes, there's usually always a way out, but I mean, it doesn't look great.
No.
It doesn't look great.
It's going to be interesting the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Let's talk about McLaren, though. Lando, his 3rd win of the year. He went from 0 wins to 3.
Yeah, and the domination. It's one of the pictures that F1 put up, which was like the dominating win. And all I could think about was, look at that gap. That is a last year max on almost every race gap. Like, he was almost 30 seconds at one point. It was like 29 point something. He had such a dominating lead.
He did. He led every single lap. So everybody was giving him a hard time. Like, how many times has he been on pole? 7 times or something like that. And he's always lost the lead before the end of the first lap. He led every lap this race. Like you said, dominated all of it. And they were telling him to slow down because he was clipping the wall. Like, he was just seemed to be in such a groove that he was going so fast that, I was like, how did he get front end damage when he announced that? I'm like, what? Was it a lap car? Like, that did something happen? But it's because he was going so quick. Like, they're like, dude, just bring the car home. Stop. Like, slow down a little bit. Just bring it home. And then Oscar, oh my gosh. I had to stop and think about this. Was it yesterday or this morning? I don't know. It's been a long day. This is Oscar's 2nd year. He is definitely going to be a world champion. The way he goes after and takes back spots from seasoned veterans. He is a great driver. Like, he just is.
I think if he could have got just a little bit more pace in that car today, and I don't know if it's the tires or what was just a little off, because Lando had it, but Oscar didn't. If Oscar had Lando's pace, where he was having to back off a little bit, he would have caught Max. Like they said right at the beginning, it was mathematically possible had he had the right pace. And then after the first couple of laps, he just wasn't keeping the right pace. But that would have been amazing. Could you imagine?
No, that would, I mean, the two of them, that team has just got to be beyond thrilled with what's happening.
Well, like we were talking about last week, what do you do with the whole papaya rules and team orders when you have two drivers who have the ability to win the championship? You have the two of them battling for the championship all the way up. That would be kind of ideal if you're 1 and 2 drivers in the thing, or you're 2 drivers, which was kind of Max and Checo for a little bit, but they're good for team orders there when they're almost as equally as good.
Yeah. I hope that the rest of the season is going to be this good. I really, really do. I think it's great. I mean, how many races now have we had the 2 McLaren drivers both on the podium? This one, the last one, Monza, they were both on the podium. I can't remember before that.
I have to go back and look, but it's been great.
Very, very good. Like, you can never take your car apart, your Lego car apart.
It's up there.
I know.
I'm building more now that Lego and F1 have announced their partnership. I will be building a lot more. I love the comments on that post.
I know. And when did they say they were coming out with those? They should have those out before Christmas.
No. It's partnership is starting for 2025, I think, or time next year. So I don't know if they'll be out before Christmas or after. I don't know. But there's a lot of speculation in Lego communities. Is it going to be how are they going to do it? Is it going to be kind of like Star Wars and others that they have like their own genres and whatnot? Because they already have like a speed collection and whatnot. But how are they going to expand it for F1? It's going to be interesting.
Nice. I can't wait. I will get a Ferrari or a Williams or both or something. But I think that's great. And my mom and I were watching something, and it's mostly been political ads here in the US. And so I just tune them out. And then I looked up, and it was Lando putting together some sort of a Lego thing. And I just started going, Lando, Lando, Lando. And my mom's like, what are you saying? And I'm like, it's Lando. It's somebody other than these stupid politicians. Like, no, it's Lando. It's on the commercial. No, I'm excited for that. But I mean, it was kind of a boring race, but I was happy to see Lando win.
And to me, it was not like, oh my gosh, thrill and sit at your seat, but it was a cleanish race, we didn't have or DNF, but it was just nice to see we'd have yellow flags, we have red flags, we had like a solid race. There was a little bit of battling going on. We saw some neat, exciting stuff. And
yes, there were some great passes for sure. Sure.
Should we go over the liveries?
Yeah, because I never got around to posting that this week. I was so busy.
Well, yeah, you like the themes. You have first the McLaren theme.
Yeah, they even had so they went back to the OKX theme from before, but they've added more of the papaya color instead of that bright orange. But I do love this design. I think did they do this last year also? I love it. I think it's really nice. Go to our YouTube if you are not watching on YouTube, but you'll see these liveries. I like it. And they had the white and the papaya overalls, and yeah.
Yeah, I liked it too. And then they had helmets. So you had I love the brightness. They were really playing on the night race and what would light up the night lights. I love this.
I love Lando does a great helmet. It's very groovy looking. And I think a lot of the drivers did special helmets because, like you said, the night race, they usually are adding glitter and, making them really pop underneath those lights. And he did a great job.
Oscars.
And Oscars is like that hologram look too. I love this with his giant OP on, one side, and the hologram is just amazing.
It's so cool. And then I love Alex's because he's got, he's brought some tea. I put the whole tweet up there. He's bringing a little piece of Thailand to Singapore. Yeah. So I said, just thank you. Yes, thank you for doing that because I love it with my Thai.
It's amazing. I think he's been working on this and kind of teased it. I don't remember who, I guess that Gong Khan, I don't know, designed it. And so he's kind of been teasing it and we knew something special was coming for Singapore. But when he released it, I was like, this is really cool. Alex also does a great job with helmets.
I can't do the exact translation because I don't know. I just had to I cheated, but that's Thai up there where he's saying in Thai, thank you for the people who supported in getting him there, basically. So I think it's cool. So that writing right there above the pictures is Thai.
Oh, that's great.
They're all pretty letters. Thai letters are so pretty.
They really are. Oh it looks like calligraphy. That would be really tricky to write.
And then we have V-Carb and their theme, all the denim, everything they posted had denim in it. I love it.
Well, you all know, I love a theme when you carry it over, and it better be a part of everything. And I was telling you, they started the week by posting Yuki in an all denim outfit because they were really referencing Hugo. And, I think all the caption said was all the cool kids wear denim. And I'm just thinking, this was Monday, I think. And I was like, oh, what a cute picture from last weekend. And, but they did, like you said, they carried it throughout everything. They've got the denim t-shirts with the denim livery. And I think there was a teaser with a giant jean pocket on a building and they pulled something out as a teaser. So they really went all the way with it.
Yeah. Their Twitter, top is like a zipper, and they're all into it, which I love.
I can't say it's like my favorite looking
shirts.
Yes, those are very cool. I can't say it's like my favorite livery, but it's I like it.
No, but my favorite t-shirts.
Yeah. The t-shirts look comfy. They look soft.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But I love that they carried it through. And I love this Yuki's helmet, the dragon. I mean, look at the
He
colors.
never disappoints. He never disappoints.
He doesn't. He really doesn't. There's a handful of them that are always on it with the helmets, and this is one. I mean, I even where like the nose and the mouth of the dragon is placed like where his nose and mouth would be. I love it. And the colors, the red and the yellow, it's really, really sharp.
Yeah, I love it. It reminds me when you said about the faces, it reminds me, was it who was it that did the panda? Was that Ocon that did the panda head?
No, Alex.
Alex. It was Alex, yeah.
I
love that with the eyes, everything kind of reminds me of the same thing. It looks really cool in the car.
Yeah. I'm still bummed I did not get that helmet. Yeah.
And then Danny had this beautiful helmet, which you said with the glitter and everything. Look at the sparkles and everything. And I love the color.
Great. And it's got those to me, it's like a traditional hot rod flames that you would see on the side of a hot rod back in the day is what that looks like. And I didn't even know until you said this that he even had a helmet this weekend. I didn't know he had a special helmet. So
I don't want to talk about it, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is. Very, very nice.
That's gorgeous. And then Nico, I like this one. This makes me think of motorcycle racing for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I think when I was looking at it up close, I don't know that it's constellations. It looked like paint splatter to me, but it's got the yellow stars and the bright yellow with, Hulkenberg, although it's HLK, because you can't put the whole thing on, on the helmet. I love the colors. I love the glitter on it. I think it's cool.
I think it's gorgeous.
Very abstract.
Gorgeous. I love the colors. Again, night race, nice and bright.
Oh,
and this is so cute. Such adorable. I love it from Joe.
Joe's special helmet. So he got this cat over the summer break. And I just think it's adorable that it was front and center on the side of his helmet. I mean, it's not like the fanciest, but then when he showed the back and it's that traditional Singapore, I think that's a hotel, right? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
But I was like, ooh, I like that. I mean, it's Joe. It's understated because he's not an over the top kind of fashion guy, but it gets in the important parts. And I was like, okay, I can appreciate this. The yellow gray, very subdued. The hotel is kind of looks like a black line drawing. It's great. And then the nod to the cat. He loves that cat. He just only had it a few months, but absolutely loves that cat.
I love his little outfit.
I know. Well, I would expect nothing less. Joe is such a fashion guy. Like that cat better have a wardrobe.
Right. And then this, could you not sparkle any brighter for Ferrari under with that helmet? Look at that thing.
So this is Charles' helmet. At first I was like, is this different? But it is. Like, it is just so shiny. Still has the Monaco flag on top and everything, and his traditional 16 on the side, but it's just
looks like it's got crackles and stuff through it.
Yes. Yeah. It's just that extra pop that you need for the nights. Yep. I love it.
And the only other thing I caught from was that Mercedes had kind of a special livery with doing their Patronus green. So they do their green. I love that green.
I know. It is actually a very pretty green. It's I think it's because of Patronus's 50 years.
Yeah.
But you know what it kind of reminded me of is like, remember when Aston Martin was like, we have a special livery, and it was like all they did was make something like bigger, a name. And I'm like, that's not a special livery. Like, okay, you just upped the color on it, but all right. Okay, we'll add it. Oh, but you know what? We totally didn't even talk about is Red Bull was supposed to have a special livery, fan design livery this weekend, and they scrapped it because they were too worried about the weight.
The weight of the paint. Yep, there was a lot of talk about that. So I meant to put on a slide that's like Red Bull and then a big line through it.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Yeah, they said because of the weight. And there was a lot of talk about the weight and the carbon fiber and all that. It's like, wah, wah.
Yep. So I'm guessing if they have anything else planned, if I'm a fan, I would not be expecting the livery to show up.
Yeah.
The F1 Academy Red Bull car was very cool. I actually had wondered if they just put it on there, and I totally forgot to tell you about that until right this second. But I was like, oh, did they just take that design and then just put it on the F1 Academy car? Because that's one way to get around it. Still use it, just slightly different specs and everything. But yeah, that's kind of funny. What else do we have? We should have.
I think that's it. Now we have the slides of the race winners and stuff. So let's go through that. So we have
Lando with his third win. Oh my gosh. Good job, Lando.
For a while, I thought it was going to be our P1, 2, 3 finishers or pole qualifiers were going to be the way we were winning. It was like going that way until Oscar, man, he jumped in there, which I loved.
Yeah, because he started 5th or 6th or something.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I think, 1, 2, 3. He started 5th. But look at George Russell again, sitting right there in 4th place. Right there in 4th. He's just always waiting, lurking, ready to hop up in case something happens.
Well, he was in 3rd place for the longest time until Oscar got past him too. So
yeah. I'm telling you, Oscar will be he will be a world champion.
Absolutely, no doubt. And then
wait, go back, because Nico had a great weekend.
Yeah, Nico
really did, and he was 6th in qualifying, I think. So he dropped a few, but not too bad. But do you know, I keep seeing all these memes about Sergio because he got 1 point in 10th place, and they said when you realize Daniel Ricciardo from V-Carb had the same impact, on the team as Sergio.
Nico started 6th, actually. He's
6th? Yeah.
He started P6, yep. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that was it. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's crazy that's kind of the impact between Sergio and him right now.
Yeah. Insane. Anyways, moving on. Yay for Lando.
So this is like a 2-sided. I almost need a smiley face on one, and you've got a smiley face on one side and a frowning face on the other. Oh my gosh.
So Daniel, driver of the day. When I saw that pop up, I was like, Daniel won driver of the day? And then I was like, oh, I didn't vote driver of the day today, but I was like, I can't believe people thought ahead. Where am I? I don't know. It was 5:30 in the morning when the 5 o'clock in the morning when the race started. But I mean, that people thought ahead to vote him driver of the day just in case he doesn't come back. Like, what? Way to go, fans, because I hadn't even thought about that. And so if this is his last race, then I'm glad he's also driver of the day.
And him saying that he's at peace if it's his final GP.
It's so sad.
That's so sad.
He kind of looks like Freddie Mercury right there.
He does a little bit. Yeah. So a couple milestones. Is the 350th Grand Prix for Lewis and the 200th of his start and 200 races for Carlos.
Yeah. I can't believe that's 200 races for Carlos. Amazing. So is it 350? Oh, Grand Prix for, is that like in the top 10 or something?
It said it was, I thought it said it was Grand Prix starts.
Oh.
Yeah, it says that he's got, I thought it's a 350 Grand Prix starts is what he's got.
Mm.
Yeah, it's another incredible achievement, 350 Grand Prix starts.
Wow. Yeah. That's incredible. And yay for Carlos. And he's at least back on the grid next year. So thank God. That was touch and go for a while.
Let's look at the standings.
Yes. Larry. You know what? Red Bull is just not going to be able to probably catch him if you can't count on Sergio.
No.
He can't be adding 1 point when you've got McLaren both on the podium race after race after race.
No.
That's craziness. Because they've extended their 16 points from last week.
Yeah.
And Kick Sauber still with 0.
Still with 0.
Wah, wah. And Haas, look at that. Now there's only a 3 point. So Red Bull is in, or V-Carb is in 6th with 34, and Haas in 7th with 31.
And Hulk is in the top 10.
Hulkenberg. Oh, that's crazy.
Look at that.
Wow.
You knocked Stroll out.
Well, okay. Yeah. It's true. Oh my gosh, good for him. He's in the top 10.
Isn't that
Dang,
cool?
he's like quietly having, somewhat quietly having a season. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
I wonder if that's some thoughts of Haas, the switch with Gunther being out and the changes that they're making this year.
Yeah. I mean, I think because the race pace, because last year he would qualify really well, but then he'd fall back.
Yeah.
And
So,
they're both doing.
remember last year I did like the check of how many times that Haas had like a car that just caught on fire and didn't finish the race. They had so many last year. So much better this year.
And I think K-Mag was doing all right until he got that puncture.
Yeah.
So, and then he dropped to the end. But yeah, we're getting
it's interesting. The thing is, and I'm the one that posts you people don't know the results each week, and it's like I get lost for words because to me this every week is just it's exciting. I'm excited. The race may not be super exciting, but the season just continues to be interesting, and we have differences, and we have different winners, and we have different battles, and it's just nice to see more across the field doing more similar, results because it's not the same thing every week, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. No, I still think this is the best season. I mean, 2021 was pretty exciting until the end, which was just horrible. But over the last couple seasons, it's been yawn. This year, amazing. We're back at it. So that's great. And then we've got a month off. So our next race will be Austin. Will actually be a decent time for me. It'll be not so decent time for you, probably. Probably about midnight, I'm guessing. It'll start
midnight.
So not horrible for you guys. But yeah, we got a month off, people. Don't know what we're gonna do, but
and I'll be heading to the US right after that. So a couple of days later.
That's what you'll be doing.
Yeah. The next races and then so at least I'll be in the time zone for Mexico and for Brazil.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, will you be here for Austin or no?
No, Austin is the October 18th and 22nd, and I fly out on the 22nd.
Oh, okay.
The 20th. Austin's 18th to the 20th, and I fly out on the 22nd.
Got it. Okay.
But I'll be in for Mexico, and then my son's marriage celebration is the weekend of Brazil, so that's going to be interesting. How many people have the mom in the corner? I'm sorry. One.
Oh gosh. Well, at least we know we're down to our last few races. It'll be over before we know it, and then we're gonna see what happens. You never know; anything could happen.
Anything. All right. Well, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
So you get the rest of your day, and we're off, and we'll just see if there's any announcements in the next days or weeks about it.
Yep. Watch our social media. We'll be posting about it.
Right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe and leave a rating and a review. To stay up to date with She Loves the Grid and get all the behind the scenes content, you can follow us on Instagram at She Loves the Grid and on Facebook at facebook.com/She Loves the Grid. Thank you for joining us for the ride this week.